Mets are still waiting for their season to flower. And they're working as hard as they can to put things right. Who's going to play first base on a daily basis? Who knows? Meanwhile, the Cardinals are dancing. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the St. Louis Cardinals. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the middle game of their three-game series against the Cardinals, who won last night to go to 20 games over 500, 42-22. The Cardinals have the best record in Major League Baseball, and they come to Citi Field with a slew of stars, including their five-time Gold Glove catcher Yadier Molina and the former Met Carlos Beltran, who's been rejuvenated in St. Louis.
Well, it's a team of stars and young players, but Molina takes the spotlight here. Second in the league of hitting 351. He's thrown out 11 runners this season. Gary just mentioned five-time Gold Glover. He won the first two platinum gloves. Four-time All-Star. Kind of came into his own the last two seasons, 300 seasons off another great shot. Another great start this year, hitting over 300, obviously. And Beltran, of course, the great career, the Rookie of the Year with Kansas City, I don't know how long ago. Second year in St. Louis, hit 32 home runs and 97 RBI last year, and off to a really red-hot start, hitting over 300 with 14 home runs and 42 RBI. And, of course, he's a three-time Gold Glover, and I think he's just really happy in St. Louis. It's a great spot for him at this point in Carlos's career.
And Carlos, after having the night off last night, will be in the lineup tonight against Dylan G, who over the last couple of starts looks like he is starting to turn his season around.
You know, at the end of May 25th, his ERA was 6.34, and it has all changed in the last two starts. He's gone at least 7 innings in both starts. He's got 19 strikeouts to 1 walk and 2 wins. When he needed it most, now before Wheeler comes, he has done it.
On the other side, one of the Cardinals' terrific young pitchers, Shelby Miller. He is off to a fabulous start in his first full year in the big leagues.
Well, this young man, all of 22 years old, he has been outstanding. He's had 13 starts in the major leagues going back to last season, has never ever given up more than 3 runs.
He pitched 5 2/3 scoreless innings against the Mets last month in St. Louis. It's the Mets and Cardinals. All the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. To search local offers and to find a dealer near you. By This Is the End in theaters now. By the New York Lottery. By Audi, Truth in Engineering. By StubHub. Next time you plan a trip to the ballpark, head to StubHub where you can find great seats and earn great rewards. And by Bud Light Lime, summer is calling. Foreigner is coming to Citi Field for a post-game concert this Friday, presented by Dwayne Reed and Gillette Fusion Disposables to kick off the Mets post-game concert series. Catch Foreigner live in concert after the Mets-Cubs game. Get to Mets.com/Foreigner. Drive around the majors presented by Cadillac. Lots of day baseball today. Justin Verlander pitched 7 scoreless, but the Royals got 2 in the 9th, 1 in the 10th, and beat the Tigers 3-2. Albert Pujols hit a home run, and the Angels, with Eric Ibar hitting a 3-run triple, beat the O's 9-5. And Mike Leake, terrific for the Reds today, 8 innings, 3 hits. The Reds win their 12th straight at Wrigley Field as they down the Cubs 2-1. Also today, the Padres beat the Braves to sweep that series from Atlanta. Dylan G making his way in from the bullpen, trying to make it 3 straight dominating starts. Mets and Cardinals, first pitch coming up from Citi Field. Brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce. Head to Citi Field's Fan Fest and step into the cage to test your luck against the Cholula Flamethrower. Available in 4 flavors. Cholula Hot Sauce, the flavorful hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap. Here's your Hyundai starting lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. Pretty much the same lineup as last night, except no Matt Adams, as Carlos Beltran returns to the lineup after a night off last night. The Cardinals, the highest scoring team in the National League, and they'll be going up against Dylan G tonight.
You know, I think the biggest change that Dylan G has made so far, as you see his numbers presented by Jaguar, are that he went back to fastball command, changeup as his out pitch, and curveball occasionally put left-handers away. Ever since he's done that, he's changed his entire game.
And we'll take a look at the Metropolitan Lexus defense. Lucas Duda out there. Boy, oh boy, the Mets have had a musical chairs out there in the outfield. And Neuenhuis, of course, just called up. He's going to be playing a lot of center field. And we're going to see a lot of Juan Lagares in center field also.
Matt Carpenter leads things off for the Cardinals. He had an 18-game hitting streak come to an end last night. And G throws a first pitch fastball for a strike. Carpenter having a terrific year in his first season as a second baseman for the Cardinals. He's got a pretty good chance, you would think, to make the All-Star team and get back here to Citi Field. Takes the curveball low, and it's 1-1.
Well, you know, the 60 games that he's participated in this year, he's scored 51 runs, and that's what you want from a leadoff hitter.
So it's interesting. You can make it work, even if you don't have tons of speed. But a part of that is being able to hit well into your 300s.
Carpenter's walked 29 times, has a .409 on base percentage. Carlos Beltran on deck. Dylan G started to turn his season around. 2 starts back against the Yankees. He had that brilliant start in which he walked none and struck out 12. Came back a week ago against Washington. Didn't pitch nearly as well. Had a lot of traffic on the base paths, especially early in the game, but made it through 7 innings, allowing just 1 run on a night the Mets were hitting. That's the last time the Mets won a game. They beat the Nats that night 10-1. 2-2 to the leadoff hitter, and the curveball wraps around the plate. Interesting. 2 curveballs in the first at bat. He threw a lot of curveballs in that last start against Washington.
Gary, you mentioned 2 themes, though. He got in trouble on both of those starts. Didn't panic early.
And he walks the leadoff hitter as he misses with a 3-2 changeup, and Carpenter is aboard. Well, that start at Yankee Stadium, he gave up 2 hard hits to start the game and worked his way through that first inning unscathed. Then against the Nats, he gave up a run in the first inning and then nothing more. Well, here's Beltran. Carlos riding a 10-game hitting streak, having another terrific year. And he takes a fastball for a strike. See what he's done recently. Carlos had never hit much against the Mets until that last series the Mets played in St. Louis a month ago. He went 6 for 15 with 5 RBIs in that series. And quickly G gets ahead of him 0-2.
I think Carlos was looking for that old G curveball and got 2 straight heaters.
Matt Holliday waits on deck. Alan Craig behind him. Just getting started on a gorgeous night in New York.
One thing I remember about that series in St. Louis, I was not there, you guys were doing it, but you had the businessman special the last day, and you had 40-something thousand people.
Yes.
All in red. I said, you know, that's pretty good on a day game.
It's a business person today.
So, oh, you're correcting me. Very good.
Strike 3 called. Beltran caught looking with 3 fastballs in that at bat for the first out of the night.
Well, Carlos looking for a breaking ball, maybe taking the first pitch to get a gauge, but looking for a curveball here. Fastball right down the middle. Change up away, misses badly, and then comes back with another changeup, fading on the outside corner. Buck was set up inside.
Usually you don't get that call from the umpire, but he got it there.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Matt Holliday was 3 for 5 last night and drove in a run. The Cardinals 9-2 win. Holliday's riding an 8-game hitting streak. It only seems as though every Cardinal has a big hitting streak going right now. G got beat up a little bit at start in St. Louis. That was a little less than a month ago. He gave up 6 runs in 4 innings and a 10-4 loss. But he has really turned things since then.
Well, he got, I think, angry and started pitching a more angry. Things were kind of falling apart. That particular start, Gary, if you recall, he was not sharp. He was up in the strike zone, but there was a lot of ground balls through the infield that found the holes that really added to that outing, of that poor outing.
Holliday hits it out to right center, slicing over to Byrd, and he's got it for the second out. Carpenter back to first, 2 out. Well, talking to Dylan after his start at Yankee Stadium, he said, I just had to be more aggressive, and I had to stay with my game plan even when I gave up a couple of hits early. And I think that's been, in Dylan's mind, the reason that he's had more success lately.
You got to pitch angry out there, and the same thing goes for hitters. You got to go up to the plate and be angry.
Take it out on the pitcher, right?
Yep. And pitcher go after the hitters. I mean, the sky was pretty much falling in on Dylan's year. I mean, he was off to a terrible start.
Here's Alan Craig, who took a licking and kept on ticking last night. Smashed into the right field wall and then came back into the 3-run homer. And back in the lineup again tonight, despite a little bit of a headache. Craig played right field last night, first base tonight with Beltran back in the lineup. Getting a .313 on the year. The Cardinals as a team are hitting .277, and since the 1st of May they're hitting .297, which is 15 points better than any team in the major leagues since May 1st. So they have been hitting on all cylinders. A team that is not hitting a lot of home runs this year. They're 10th in the National League in home runs, but lead the league in runs scored. And a check swing foul, 0-2.
No, he got himself looked like a fastball, Ronnie, or a changeup that he just stayed back on.
And Hefner called it the worst pitch he threw all year.
Yeah, I read that in the papers. Yes.
Hefner threw that same exact changeup to Ian Desmond in Washington that resulted in a home run. So that
maybe
might
it
be
was the second worst.
It might be a pitch he wants to ditch in the future.
0-2 to Craig. Buck sets up inside, and Craig hits the comebacker. And Dylan G negotiates the leadoff walk and gets through the first inning. Mets will come to bat against Shelby Miller when we come back. Instance this year, Terry Collins goes with the exact same starting 8 that he ran out there yesterday. Hasn't happened often for Danny Valdespino, who had a couple of hits last night, right back in that leadoff spot as the Mets face Shelby Miller for the second time this year.
Well, the record speaks for itself. 12 starts he's had so far, 9 of them he's given up 2 earned runs or less. Hits per innings pitched, unbelievable. Walks to strikeouts. An opponent's average just barely over 200.
Look at the whip. Jeez.
Valdespino getting a chance to play his most accustomed position at second base and getting a chance to lead off. He had 2 hits in the game last night. 2 of the 5 that the Mets managed against Michael Wacha and company.
Shelby Miller's really been their Matt Harvey so far, hasn't he? Matt had that perfect game going late. He gave up a hit to Eric Young in Colorado and then retired 27 straight. So they've been having some outstanding efforts all season long.
And you can look at him and see that he's just fit as a fiddle. He is in shape.
22 years old, first round pick back in 09 out of high school in Texas, and he throws a first pitch fastball for a strike. Without speed with a bit of a trademark. I get the pocket. What I don't understand is what's in his left pocket.
I hope it's not a cell phone.
It's what it looks like, doesn't it? An old cell phone.
Walkie-talkie.
No. Oh, like the old brick cell phone?
Maybe he's carrying his wallet. Rico used to do that.
Who was the wide receiver that pulled out the cell phone when he scored a touchdown?
Chad Johnson. Joe Cinco.
Oh, God.
He's had a difficult week.
Yeah, things are not going well for Chad. Whichever last name.
That was hard to believe.
Speed takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Omar Quintanilla to follow, and then David Wright for the Mets in the bottom of the first. Miller throws mostly fastballs and curveballs. He'll average about 93, 94 with his fastball.
Not afraid to throw. He's coming out firing.
You know, it's interesting. Other than Wacha last night, you see 103 days of major league experience. Wacha straight over the top. He could really see it out of his hand. Shelby Miller hides the ball a little better. Our Chuck just mentioned looks like a taller version of Roy Oswalt.
Off the fists. Back comes Molina for a look, but that's back in the crowd. This is the 23rd game already this year that the Cardinals have a rookie pitcher starting on the mound. And they've had an enormous amount of success with their rookie pitchers. They're 12-5 with a 2.89 ERA. And they've already had 7 pitchers make their major league debuts this year. And yet they're #1 in the National League in ERA.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do, I think what Molina brings is what Gary, that's a sidewinder there, you never know. What Molina brings is what I think Carter brought to the young staff of the Mets in '85, Gary. I think Ronnie speaks nothing but high praise for Gary and how he handled and called the game.
And I've talked to Tony La Russa and Mike Matheny about Molina, and all you have to do is say Molina's name, and about 30 minutes later they're still talking about him. That's how they feel about him. And he's not everyone's favorite. He's a guy that takes charge. If he doesn't like what you're doing, he'll let you know. Leader.
Duda Valdespin leading off, and the curveball sits high, and a full count to Valdespin. Daddy's very excited about getting a chance to have this opportunity, at least for the time being, to play every day, play second base.
It's been a long wait for him.
Yeah. Where that's going to go is anybody's guess. He hits this one well to center field, but Jay is right there. Now has to come in. The shoestring catch. Jay got fooled on that ball. The wind is blowing tonight, but I don't think that was the big factor here.
No, he broke back first. He thought this ball was hit better, and you got a little bit of that light sky right now, some shadows, but he made the recovery. This kid can play center field. Wow.
I guess that's looking the ball into the glove.
So a good recovery by Jay for the first out. And now Omar Quintanilla, who hit a home run in the first inning last night off Michael Wacha. That's got 2 in the first and then no more. But Quintanilla has been a very pleasant surprise with the bat. He was hitting in Las Vegas better than he ever has, and he's translated that to the big leagues. He's got an 8-game hitting streak going. And on a team that is begging for offense right now, Quintanilla is off to a good start.
Oh, boy.
Late on that fastball, 0-2.
I tell you what, this kid's freight train.
This kid's been a star since he's 12 years old. When he went to high school, he threw 3 no-hitters in a row. In between those was a perfect game. I mean, he's just, wow, always been the best.
Mets worked him to a fairly high pitch count the first time he faced him. He was forced to come out after 5 2/3, but they didn't get much.
He struggled with his
walk,
but he only had one walk, but he struggled with his command.
And Quintanilla with a weak cut, and he's down on the curveball for the second out.
Well, he got behind early, and that's called. I don't want to swing, and you know that's just okay. I got 3 more at bats. I better work on it.
Well, you could really see the ball coming out of his hand and the spin as soon as it came out. Tight curveball.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now David Wright, who went 0 for 3 last night. David at 275 for the year. 1 RBI behind John Buck for the club lead. And he cracks one into right center. That's a base hit. And that'll go all the way back to the wall. And Wright cruises into second base with his 9th double of the year.
Well, I'll give David credit. He let everybody off with fastballs first pitch. And David said, I'm not going to wait for it. I've seen him once before. I know how hard he throws. Saw him in St. Louis. And he jumps on the first pitch. And that's David's strength right there. Look at that. Ball's in the middle of the plate and not trying to pull it. Hitting it right up at the plate, and that's how you drive the ball into the opposite field gap.
You know what's remarkable? You mentioned that Wright had seen Miller before. Miller faced the Mets less than a month ago. There are only 3 Mets in the lineup today who faced him in that game a month ago.
Keith said the musical chairs.
Yep. Here's Murphy, who had 2 hits in that game against Miller, 2 for 4. 3rd straight game that Murphy's hit cleanup. Went 1 for 4 last night.
There are the scouts.
Radar guns and stopwatches at the ready.
And the Coors Light Cardinal defense. Well, you can see that those guys all together there. That's a club that's got a pretty set lineup. I tell you what, the infield would probably be set too, but the 2 corner guys were hurt earlier in the year, and Cosma just like stepped up, and so did Carpenter.
So that trio has started 42 games together. The most used trio in the Mets outfield, which has been Duda, Lagares, and Byrd, 10 games. That's the most of any outfield trio for the Mets this season, which gives you an idea of the turnover since day 1. Miller ahead 1-2 on Murphy. And time asked for it just as Miller was about to come out of his stretch. Mets were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position last night.
It's the Under Armour shoe there. Pretty fancy on the toe.
It's like bell bottoms. So Mr. Miller likes to throw that little backdoor curveball, doesn't he, Ronnie?
Yeah, and it's not sharp yet, which happens a lot in the first inning.
Beautiful day.
Now, maybe not tomorrow.
No, but it's beautiful right now.
Matt Harvey scheduled to pitch tomorrow against Adam Wainwright, a day game.
Well, most power pitchers, when they go to the plate, their lead foot will point right towards the plate. He is landing with 90 degrees straight right at the home plate. That's how you get that torque speed all the way through the plate.
He doesn't have a big leg kick.
No.
2-2 to Murphy, and he waits on it and hits it through the hole, a base hit. Wright turns third and heads in. He'll score. Daniel Murphy gets a base hit to drive in a run, and the Mets jump out to a first inning lead for the second straight night.
Backdoor curve. Well, you know, with 2 strikes, he hung it right there, got it in the outside corner. But a hitter like Murph's going to protect the plate. All good hitters do, and I have to put Murph in that category. And Cosma not shading over in the hole enough. And I always felt with line drive hitters like Murph, when they get 2 strikes on them, they don't strike out because they go up the middle. And I always like to shift a little to the opposite field on the infield.
29th RBI for Murphy, and now Lucas Duda takes a strike.
See the play to Holiday? It always used to irritate me as a pitcher. Throw the ball to the cutoff man. Even if you're not going to get the guy at the plate, the runner at first might get foolish and try to go to second. You got him out of the inning.
But what would make you more angry? If he overthrew the cutoff man.
That's true.
I mean, he had no chance to get Murphy at the plate.
No, I don't think he had a chance to throw him at the plate. But what you can do here, see Freeze is right there. What is it, a 100-foot throw, 120-foot throw? Just come up, fire it. You never know what Murph's going to do. He might try to take second. I'm counting on you being able to throw a ball 120 feet.
Holiday is their weak link defensively.
He's had his issues, that's for sure.
Yep, that's the weak link.
I mean, the famous drop in that playoff game against the Dodgers a few years ago.
Dodger Stadium.
Cost them the final game of that series.
Tried to make kind of like a basket catch, didn't he?
Kind of sliding in, but certainly a very catchable ball. He's a great hitter, though.
He's one of the best hitters in the game.
2-1 to Duda. And Lucas takes low and in, 3-1. Now Murphy with the 2-out RBI hit. Talked about the Mets with runners in scoring position. Murph has had 20 opportunities now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, and he's now 10 for 20.
That is excellent.
June 1st, 2012. 3-1 curveball for a strike and a full count to Duda. Lucas 0 for his last 10, 2 for his last 23. Let's see the numbers on Murphy. 29 RBIs now for Murphy on the season. He'll be running now with 3-2 and 2 down. 25th pitch of this opening inning for Miller. And Duda flies one to shallow left. Long run for Holiday to the line and out of play. And a nice grab by the fan wearing a Reyes jersey. And looked like he'd done it a million times. Why is the guy with a Reyes jersey holding a first baseman's mitt?
No, you can't get the whole thing.
Just think about it. What are the odds? You bring your glove to the ballpark in the hopes of catching a foul ball, and it happens in the first inning.
Took it away from his friend.
Ball finds you.
He's bitter.
He's probably he's a butcher out there with the bad glove. The ball always finds the butchers.
So Murph gets set to take off again. And Duda hits the curveball down the right field line, and that'll settle in for a base hit. Murphy goes to third. Beltran gets it into second. Murphy's going to try to score. The throw to the plate in time. Beltran assumed that Murphy was going to stop, and he did not. Aggressive base running by Murphy. He scores from first on the single by Duda, and it's 2-0 New York.
Well, let me tell you this. This was great anticipation. This is all Tim Tuffle here. Tuff gave the go sign before Beltran threw the ball. He anticipated Beltran throwing the lollipop into second base. Terrific call by Tuff. And Murph always hustling. And that's a ribeye right there. Watch Timmy here. He had him all the way right before, just as he threw, just heads up by Tuff.
To me, that's a Murphy hustle. Tuffle taking a chance. I bet you that's advanced scouting, knowing that Carlos Beltran goes to the line. He always casually throws the ball to second, doesn't put anything on it.
So Duda gets an RBI out of it, his 21st. 3 straight 2-out hits for New York. A 2-0 lead, and now Marlon Byrd, who went 0 for 2, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly last night. So the Mets, for the second straight night, put up a 2 spot against the Cardinals starter in the first. Remember last night, Michael Wacha threw 37 pitches in that first inning, walked 3. Mets were doing a great job laying off his changeup, and to Wacha's credit, he got the thing turned around and wound up throwing 6 innings, didn't give up any more runs, and got his first big league win. Now the Mets putting a pounding on Miller, who shut them out for 5 2/3 a month ago.
Miller has to watch himself. He's got a great slide step. He's quick to the plate, but sometimes he doesn't completely stop. And I bet you one of these umpires has noticed that.
Bob Davidson were here. You'd already have the call made.
Maybe 2 of them already.
It's that borderline knees right there. Just tell the umpire, hey, get it up a little bit, please.
Miller about to throw his 30th pitch of the inning. One and 2 to Byrd. And Marlon strikes out on the high fastball to end the inning, but the Mets cash a pair. David Wright got started with a 2-out double. Daniel Murphy drove in a run. And then Lucas Duda hits a base hit to right, and aggressive base running and base coaching. Murphy scores all the way from first, and it's 2-0 New York after 1. The third inning of tonight's game. Just go to SNY.TV, click on the link, and join the conversation. It's Chat Live with Bobby O, presented by Verizon, only on SNY.TV. Shelby Miller a little unhappy about the way that bottom of the first inning went.
Well, Beltran got caught a little flat-footed here and just assumed. And, you know, the ball's down the line with a runner on first. The relay there is the second baseman's got to go out and be the relay.
Molina cracks the first pitch from G down the left field line. The second leading hitter in the National League, Yadier Molina, has himself a leadoff double.
Well, Tulowitzki had a big game last night and took over the lead in the National League batting average lead, I should say.
Well, Molina had been 0 for 9 against Dylan G, but solved that riddle. His 20th double of the year. That's the way it lined up going into the night. Marco Scudero, by the way, hurt a finger last night, might have a torn tendon. He could miss a significant amount of time for the Giants.
And the best player this year that no one knows about, Gene Segura.
The Brewers got Gene Segura last year from the Angels in the Zach Greinke deal, and that's turned out to be a terrific deal for them. David Freese, the batter. He's got the longest hitting streak in the major leagues this year, a 20-game streak starting the night. And he flicks the first pitch fastball away, 0-1.
First pitch fastball hitting is right.
And Buck's going out to talk to G, because what they have to do here is Freese has such great strength to right field. There's nobody out. That's a strength of his, so you can't really pitch him away. You're going to have to counter with either that good curveball, changeup, or fastball in. You're trying to stop him from hitting the ball to the right side.
Cardinals have the leadoff man on for the second straight inning against G. He gave up a leadoff walk in the first and worked around that. There's a good changeup by G, and it's 0-2. Freese was hitting under 220 before the hitting streak began, so he has revitalized his season after a slow start. Also spent some time on the disabled list.
It was only a matter of time for him to get going.
Here's that fastball in on him. Well, I mean, for Freese, really, the season is a microcosm of his career. It took a while for his career to get going because he had so many injuries to work through. Cardinals got him in a trade with San Diego. They were waiting for him, but he kept getting hurt, and then finally blossomed. And when he blossomed, well, all he did was lead them to a World Series championship.
Some kind of postseason in 2011.
Grew up in St. Louis. Could have run for mayor after that. Little tapper back to G, checks Molina, and gets the out at first. Molina almost stumbled coming back to the bag.
It's a hard read for the runner, isn't it, Keith? Because you're thinking maybe if it goes over the pitcher's head, you can advance.
But the one thing here, it's just purely reaction. You're going to break off the bat.
Yeah.
But if it gets by the pitcher, it's going to be fielded on the right side of the infield, so you can walk to second. So really, what makes it difficult is just your initial reaction is to break with the ball off the bat.
So Molina still at second with one out. Here's John Jay, went 0 for 4 last night. There's a first pitch curveball from G.
Totally different pitcher, Ronnie. Pitching angry, throwing more fastballs, pitching inside, and then sets up the curveball.
And throwing that curveball for a strike now, which he was not doing earlier in the year. Taken the other way, and Jay has a base hit. Molina will go to third and stop there. And so the Cardinals have runners at the corners with one out.
So we're talking about the Cardinals and how they're the #1 offensive team, and you can see they a line drive hitting team that use the field, the whole field, excuse me.
Here's Pete Kozma, the #8 hitter. Kozma hitting .357 with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals as a team, .341 coming into the night, which is, I don't know, about 60 points better than any other team in the league. They don't try and do too much. They don't try to hit home runs. They just drive in runs.
And you notice the velocity with G. You don't have to throw it through a brick wall to throw your fastball. It's 89 miles an hour. Now you see the first batter's face.
It's that aggressiveness you were talking about, Keith.
Yeah, but what did Tom Seaver say? What's the most important pitch? Strike one.
What's the old saying? It's a game of firsts. First strike, first out, first run.
You know, I think most organizations are all about strike one. I know that Seaver would always tell us first out was the most important. Get that first guy out.
Well, it's certainly supported by the stats. Over the long term, if you get the leadoff man on in an inning, you have a 51% chance of scoring in that inning. If you don't get the leadoff man on in that inning, you have a 16% chance of scoring in that inning.
And I think Tom felt, because he had a PhD in pitching, so you get that first guy out. When you are in trouble, you get 2 outs instead of 1 out.
G ahead 0-2 on Kozma with the pitcher on deck. And he throws the slider away.
Now the Tampa Bay Rays, who I think are one of the more forward-thinking organizations, they believe that it's too negative and too tough, as you see the average with runners in scoring position. Crazy. To put that much pressure on their young pitchers in the minor leagues. They say, let's fight to get to 1-2. So let's be ahead after 3 pitches, as opposed to putting so much pressure. If you don't throw the first pitch for a strike, now it's a negative thing. Let's just win the battle for the first 3 pitches.
I like that, right?
Interesting philosophy.
I like that.
Jay back to the bag.
Well, Jim Cott, who always speaks highly of Johnny Sane, one of the great pitchers and pitching coaches.
1-2. And Cosman fouled back the slide.
Said that Johnny Sane always preached strike 1 and being able to throw your secondary pitches for a strike behind the count.
Yeah. And no one did that better than Kitty, right?
Or Johnny Sane.
Johnny. A lot more sliders here in the second inning, right, guys?
Which is really his 4th pitch. Now Buck setting up inside. He comes up and in with the fastball, 2-2. He's not quite getting the pop on his fastball that he had the last 2 starts when he was throwing 90-91 regularly, more 88-89 tonight.
Sometimes it's not even the speed. Sometimes it's that late life, you know, and he's not getting it because they're not swinging at that pitch up.
Jay's not a big base stealer, just 2 steals and 3 tries this year. Cardinals, in fact, are second to last in the National League in stolen bases. Two to Cosma, and he pops it up. David Wright racing in to help. As Buck gets out of the way, Wright makes the play, 2 out. There's a big out for Dylan G. Now he can face the pitcher with first and third and 2 out.
High fastball. Plenty of plate.
You know, it's great when you see this, is how baseball is almost like marionettes sometimes. David comes in, Buck comes over, Quintanilla comes to third base, Murphy came in from first to the plate, and Dylan G was leading as far as letting him know who was going to catch that ball.
So now Shelby Miller, 2 for 26. He does have a home run among his 2 hits. And he pops one foul, 0-1.
Takes a pretty good swing. The uniforms of the Cardinals this year, they kind of enlarged the Redbirds on the bat. They're a little larger than they have been in the past.
Why would they do that?
Hey,
the steroid era is over.
Once they got to 11 championships, I think the Birds are a year older.
They're not the baby birds.
They've grown. Boy, how about McGuire in that big brawl in L.A., huh?
He was red-faced in a blue uniform last night.
There were a lot of fascinating things about that dust-up last night. Talk about it a little bit as G strikes out Shelby Miller for his 2nd strikeout of the night. So the Cardinals get a couple of hits, and G does a nice job stranding them both. 2-0 New York. This is what happened. An exchange of beanballs, and then Ian Kennedy with his second head-high pitch, and that led the benches to empty. Some of the greatest action was between the former players. As Mark McGwire holding Matt Williams off. Turner Ward, the coach for Arizona, getting smashed against the railing there. 6 ejections. The Dodgers wound up winning the game 5-3. But Mark McGwire right in the middle of it with Kirk Gibson and Matt Williams.
He's mad about the head hunting, and I can't condone that.
Well, let's just review, since we went through it very quickly in the video. It started with Yasiel Puig, who has emerged on the scene very quickly as a huge star with the Dodgers, getting hit in the nose by a pitch from Ian Kennedy as Buck grounds out to short for the first out. And then Zach Greinke properly retaliated, hit Miguel Montero in the back with a pitch, and it should have all been done at that point. But then Kennedy, who by the way has hit more batters than any pitcher in the National League this year, again comes head high to Greinke. It glances off his shoulder, hits him in the ear flap, and that's when everything exploded.
Well, I think Kennedy should be shut down for a while. You can't be head hunting. Now listen, did he try to hit Puig that first time up in the helmet? Of course not. I don't think he did. Right? But there's a payment for that. If you're a pitcher and you hit someone in the head, there's a payment for that. This is a certain level. You should be able to pitch inside and not be hitting someone in the head. Greinke did it the right way. He hit Montero in the back. Like you said, Gary, should have been done. And Kennedy went one step forward. And, you know, he should have a huge fine and suspension.
And that's why I think it's interesting. All the old timers, the old coaching staff, were all the ones that got all angry.
Well, there were a lot of other people involved too. Puig got ejected because he by the way, he got hit in the nose and stayed in the game. But then he got ejected because he threw some punches. Ronald Belisario was a little out of control for the Dodgers. They were very angry because let's remember, as Nieuwenhuis goes down on strikes, you know, Greinke got hurt earlier this year when Carlos Quentin charged the mound, broke his collarbone. Greinke got a lot of points from the Dodgers by coming back in half the time he was expected to be out, and now all of a sudden his health being put at risk again by Kennedy. So the Dodgers were extraordinarily angry, but Major League Baseball didn't announce any suspensions today. They're going to have to wait because there are a couple of issues they have to go through. One of them is that Josh Beckett and Chris Capuano both were on the disabled list, and both came out to participate in the fight, and you're not allowed to do that. So they're going to get some serious suspensions for that, I would think.
Well, that was a big league fight.
I find it very interesting that Zach Greinke, who came with the reputation of not being a great teammate, turned into just the opposite here with the Dodgers so far.
That game and that entire episode might be just the boost the Dodgers need. I mean, they're sitting at the bottom of the standings. They pulled that game out last night, and the Diamondbacks are sitting in first place, and there's now increasing bad blood between those teams, and they have, I think, 10 games to go this season. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires from there. Miller strikes out G to end the inning. Mets are out 1-2-3. 2-0 Mets after 2.
being able to go up there with a bat in your hand that feels good to you is very important. That's the thing you start out with. Next, you have to get a good stance. You know, a lot of guys, you have to do something that feels good to you. Practice and practice and practice what you're told, and that's what really, when it starts to pay off. When you start doing the things right, and then it starts to become habit. And when it starts to become a habit, then you don't have to think about it anymore, and then you go up there and you just do it right every time. That's only as a result of practice and habit.
Player quiz. That was Met slugger Dave Kingman back in 1975. That was his first year with the Mets after he came over from the Giants. He could hit some monstrous home runs.
He was quite an athlete. University of Southern California grad. I don't know if he graduated.
He was a pitcher at Southern Cal.
So that long line of Rod Dado.
That's right. Players. All the great players went there, or Arizona State, right?
Steve Busby, I believe. Kingman, Freddie Lynn.
442 career home runs, and this is the most interesting part to me. Kingman's last year in the major leagues as Carpenter hits it out to center. Jason Nieuwenhuis back a few strides, and he gets there before the warning track, one away. Kingman's last year in the major leagues was 1986 with the Oakland A's. He hit 35 home runs his last season, and nobody wanted him.
Yeah. How many RBIs?
94. Lifetime 236 hitter. He had the one great year with the Cubs when he hit 288, 48 home runs, but you know, most of the time he was a 210, 220 hitter.
Well,
Carlos Beltran loops one over short, just too tall for Quintanilla, and Beltran has a base hit. So a one-out single for Carlos Beltran.
Keeps his hitting streak alive. Now 11. Kingman that year, Gary, I remember. And let me tell you, Wrigley Field was just no match for him. We played the Cubs 18 times that year, and that was probably the only year he ever played with a contending team. And he played with spirit and fire. I mean, the real Dave Kingman came to the front there. He played for so many losers. All he cared about was hitting home runs.
There's Matt Holliday with one out and one on. Holliday flied to right his first time up. You know what people don't remember? Tracking it with Murphy over near the stands, but it's out of play. June 15, 1977 was a dark day in Mets history because that's the day the Mets traded Tom Seaver to the Reds. But they also traded Kingman that day. And it kind of flew under the radar. They traded him to San Diego. In fact, they believe, if I recall correctly, they got Bobby Valentine back in that deal.
So the Mets traded for Kingman again to get him back.
They got him back in 1981. Yeah.
From, you recall?
He had been with the Cubs, so I think they got him right back from the Cubs. But in between, he went to the Padres, he went to the Angels, he went to the Yankees for a brief time. That's a good slider by G, and it's 0-2 to Holliday, who flied to right his first time up.
I do remember Dave Kingman, when he played for the Mets, he had a boat, and he lived on a boat right over here. What's that little bay? Flushing Bay.
The World's Fair Marina. Derek Bell did the same thing when he was with the Mets.
Don't pay taxes.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Offshore?
You're offshore. That's right.
I think that's still territorial waters, though. Holliday hits one to straightaway center. And Nieuwenhuis is over. 2 out. And Beltran back to first.
Trying to figure out why you'd want to live on a boat and not want to live in Manhattan. And Dave was single all of his career.
You know, there was a long time before you guys came along that baseball players, and I think it was true of the Yankees as well as the Mets, were discouraged from living in the city.
Oh, I wonder why. Frank said it. Sinatra. The city that never sleeps.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
Talked to Jim Fregosi about his tenure here as a Met.
Well, most Met fans don't want to remember that.
Fregosi said he left it at Mr. Laughs. He left his game at Mr. Laughs.
Maybe he should have told the Mets that before they traded Nolan Ryan for him, that he was planning to spend his nights at Mr. Laughs. Alan Craig in a comebacker his first time up.
Oh, boy.
But really, your team, I think, started the trend of players living in the city, because it really was not something that was done before the 80s.
Well, when I decided to live in the city my rookie year, Frank Cashin called me in the office. And he said, you know, we discourage young players from living in the city. And Rusty came in and vouched for me and said, listen, I'll make sure this knucklehead's good.
Right.
So we would get in the Emerson Fittipaldi Brazilian rib machine every night, and we would go to Rusty's and go there and hang out for a little bit, and then straight to the pad.
It was the four of us. There were five. Rusty told me to move into the city. Yourself, Danny Heap, and Ed Lynch. Yep. We were the big five in the city.
3-0 to Alan Craig.
Like the Dalton game.
By the way, speaking of Rusty, tonight is the night when Rusty's organization, the New York Police and Fire Widows and Children's Benefit Fund, had its annual event here at Citi Field. Rusty's a little under the weather, and for the first time in 29 years, he's not in attendance at the event tonight. So we want to send Rusty Staub all of our best. Over 1,000 guests here tonight at that wonderful event. The organization that Rusty has done so much work for over the years, and has become so vital, particularly since 9/11. So kudos to Rusty. Our best wishes for improved health, and a happy hello to everybody here for the event tonight. 2-0 Mets in the third. At the Verizon Studios, and checking with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Time for our favorite part of the homestand, Gary. The Verizon Ask the Booth. I have scoured and scoured the stands and come up with this faithful Met fan, Tom Iannelli from Brooklyn, who's been a Met fan for a long time, season tickets. Tom, I know you thought long and hard. What's the question for the three guys?
Hey, guys. How are you? Excuse me. When you're on the road, what's your favorite away city or ballpark to go to?
Tom, excellent work not trying to grab the microphone, because I really hate when people do that. Guys, take it away.
Those are really two different questions, right? Best city and best ballpark.
Go ahead, Ron.
I think that I would say all the ballparks that are within walking distance of the hotel are my favorite. I just like those after the games. I enjoy San Diego. I like San Diego. There's a lot of places to get something to eat after the game. Ballpark is beautiful. That's my favorite, I think, on the road.
I'll have to go with the
drag bunt by Valdespin, but right back to the pitcher. Yeah, nowhere throws him out.
I'll have to go favorite city, Chicago, because you have day games. You can go there and you have a normal dinner hour, and it's loaded with great restaurants. It's a fun city. Ballpark, I'd have to say, for some reason, I'll go with Wrigley Field. I just have a affinity for that old ballpark.
Well, my favorite city and favorite ballpark intersect You can't beat San Francisco.
Yeah.
Fabulous city and a fabulous ballpark. And the atmosphere there now with, the Giants' success over the last few years is just off the charts.
Keith's from there. I lived there for a while, so maybe that's not why that's one of my favorites, because it is a fantastic city. I'm trying to think of the other ones. That Chicago is great. You're right. There's some that are not our favorites too. Glad I didn't ask that question.
There are a lot of great ballparks now in terms of our selfish the broadcast facilities. Like Milwaukee is a fantastic place to work. Big booth, easy access to the clubhouse and field and all that. But nobody cares about that.
Dome, so you're not going to get a rain delay.
Houston was never a favorite of mine. It's called strike 3 right there. Houston was a long flight to Houston.
But what about now in the new ballpark?
The ballpark's fine, but this Houston, for some reason, it's so spread out. I didn't like. We stayed at the Galleria. Didn't like staying there. It just.
I like San Diego. Occasionally, you get a day off there. You sneak over to Del Mar. There's the little perks occasionally that creep up.
There's nothing wrong with Los Angeles too. Dodger Stadium.
I have a lot of friends there, so that wears me out.
So I guess there's a lot of places we like.
You want to start talking about the places we don't like?
Try the NL Central. Oh.
David Wright doubled to right center and scored the first Met run. Mets got their 2 runs in the second. Since then, Miller's retired 6 in a row. And he has struck out 5 now through 2 2/3. Well, Miller's been getting ahead, but it was Wright who drove a first pitch into the gap. Miller comes back to strike him out this time. That's 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings for Miller, but the Mets have a 2-0 lead after 3.
Think you can stump Gary? I don't think you can. He's been hot. Tweet your favorite trivia question and the answer to, what is it, hashtag?
At SNYTV, hashtag Stump Gary.
Thank you.
You sounded a little bored with that, Keith. We warned you out already.
I don't understand the hashtag. That's just the number sign?
What was the glass power in the glasses you got? 1.25? You might need to go north, my friend.
Oh, my reading glasses? They're very fashionable.
Yadier Molina doubled in the second inning, and he lines one off G, and Valdespino will run it down, but Molina across the bag, and G appears to be none the worse for it.
Did he catch that off the leather part just above his wrist? Or below his wrist, let's say.
Oh, I think it got his forearm.
I think it did also.
Lower forearm.
Tough Texan.
No move by the trainer or by Terry Collins, so he's just fine.
I like it.
So Molina's 2 for 2, and the Cardinals have the leadoff man on for the 3rd time in 4 innings. G's been able to negotiate the traffic so far. Here's David Freese, who hit a comebacker his first time up. He leaves that fastball away for ball 1.
Freese had some interesting comments. He was talking about the offense for the St. Louis Cardinals and said that, you know, what we try to do is that early in the game we're trying to get a real feel for what the pitcher's trying to do to us.
Pulls just foul.
And he said as our bats go, first at bat, second bat, third at bat, we try to kind of decipher in real time what he's trying to do and adapt to how he's pitching us. And then by the 3rd time up, hopefully we're not swinging at some of those pitches that were off the plate that we were earlier in the game. So a real approach. They said they watch each other's at bats. They talk about it on the bench. And in real time, they try to figure out what the pitcher's trying to do to him.
Thank you very much.
And as a result, Freese said, they don't panic when they fall behind early, because they usually have a pretty good idea that 2nd or 3rd time around the batting order they can get some traction.
I've always preached, if you're a left-hand hitter, watch how the pitcher's working the left-handers and vice versa, righty. If you're a right-hand hitter. You don't see a lot of the new ballparks today with the dugouts close behind home plate because of the box seats, expansion of the box seats and behind home plate. You can see right here, it would be, oops, look at that.
Look at that
spotlight.
Spot
oh, my word. Anyway,
you get tricky.
I like it to have the dugouts down where the on-deck circle is, so the players on the bench, you can get a better angle and see what the pitcher's trying to do.
Full count to Freese.
You know why that spotlight was up. I had some friends come up in the booth and I was demonstrating the telestrator that I never use or rarely use.
You were bragging.
And now I put it back on straight solid, so we're good.
3-2 with nobody out. Molina very close to the bag at first. Not going. And Freese strikes out on the fastball away. 3rd strikeout of the night for G. 1 down in the 4th.
Well, G got the better of him, that he is still going a little bit out of the strike zone. 3-2. Fastball away. Sets up away. And the pitch maybe a little off the outside corner, but too good to take. Nice pitch by G.
You know what's interesting now is that when they want a fastball away, you notice the catcher went to the pinky. In the old days, they used to put down the index finger and then pad the outside corner on the inner thigh. Well, that would give away location.
John Jay hits one out to center field, chasing Neuenhuis back. Onto the warning track, he's got room to pull it in. Back to first goes Molina. 2 out.
Well, Neuenhuis tracks it down very nicely. Easy play. That's pretty routine. Molina here. You got to go halfway here. No, he hasn't got enough fleet. He's not fleet of foot to be able to get back and tag up. If Neuenhuis could drop it, and the odds are it's not going to happen. If he drops it, and you're advanced to 3rd.
Well, since he plays every day, I think it's important for him to not rest. You know what I'm saying? Just no unnecessary movement.
Pick his spots.
No false hustle.
Pete Cosma came up in an RBI spot in the 2nd, 1st and 3rd and 1 out, and G got him to pop up in foul ground and was able to work himself out of a tough jam in that 2nd inning. A lot of sliders tonight from G. Ball to strike to Cosma.
Much more aggressive, more fastballs from G, more pitching inside. It's just the pitcher that I liked from last year. the year that he's been here, and he's just rediscovered himself.
Well, at a time when the pressure has been put on the members of the back end of the Mets rotation, G has responded. And frankly, so is Sean Markham, so is Jeremy Hefner.
Competition is a very good thing.
Zach Wheeler will in all likelihood be promoted to start in Atlanta in the day-night doubleheader next Tuesday. Hit sharply, but right at down the spin, and he gets the force to end the inning. A hit and one left. 2-0 Mets in the fourth. You can get interactive with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV. Featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day during every Mets game. Now on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Home fourth inning, Mets with a 2-0 lead. Daniel Murphy, who drove in the first Met run and scored the second, will lead off against Shelby Miller, who settled in to retire 7 in a row, striking out 5 of the 7.
Greg Gibson digs his heels in, gets as low as any umpire you're going to see. His head is almost even with Yadier Molina. I wonder if he puts his head at a place where it's even with kind of the numbers of the hitter. So if the ball's above his eyesight, he knows it's a ball.
Now remember back in the old days when the American League umpires were the big bubble protectors, and they stood tall over the back of the catcher.
Who was was it Bill Haller? Was a real tall guy.
But this is as far opposite as you can get, getting as low as you possibly can. And I guess my question would be, as Murphy takes a curve for a strike, does it change the strike zone at all for an umpire to get that low?
Well, I think that each umpire has to kind of sit where they can get the best view, which is good to their eyes. So everyone's going to be a little bit different. But he really gets as low as anyone I've ever seen.
My feeling is, Gary, that when they're down low, they have to be over the inside corner, so they've got to have a guess, not a guess. They've seen enough pitches where they gather where the outside corner is. Where the American League, the old American League umpire stood up high, he could probably see the corners better.
Well, you say guess, and I think, they're far enough away from that outside corner that it has to be an educated guess more than a direct view. I mean, they've got a perfect view of the inside corner from where they sit.
Which is amazing when they don't call inside strikes when it's sitting right there.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they'll call more outside strikes because they don't know. Duda hits it long to right center field. Back goes Beltran looking up, and it's out of here. Lucas Duda with his 11th home run of the season, and the Mets now have a 3-0 lead. Now Duda broke an 0 for 10 with a base hit to drive and a run in the first inning, and now he drives in his second run of the day. Nothing New York.
First ball, fastball hitting. Oh, we got a curveball, hanger. There you go. A little roller, Ronnie.
Well, think about it this way. Lucas, who was sent down to the minor leagues last year, maybe the best thing of sending Ike down, a little fire maybe under Lucas.
So now Marlon Byrd takes a rip, and it's 1-1. Funny thing is, Lucas created what for him was controversy before the game today. You know, Lucas stays out of the spotlight as much as he can.
Yeah.
Well, he was very innocently before the game today taking ground balls at first base, which, of course, the beat writers noticed, and of course they immediately went to Lucas and said, "Well, I thought you weren't going to be playing first base. Why are you taking ground balls at first?" And he said, "I just out there on my own, fooling around, no big deal."
How about saying none of your business? How about that one? That's an answer. It's none of your business.
Well, he can take as many ground balls as he wants if he hits his 35 home runs. 2-2 to Byrd. There he is before the game today.
Oh, hit first baseman by trade.
Hey, look, there's no question Lucas would love to be a first baseman, but on this team he's not.
No. On the 11. Oh boy.
Strike 3 called. Byrd is out. 7 strikeouts for Miller.
I think Bird's got to stop looking for that breaking ball with 2 strikes. I've seen him take too many fastballs. I think they're on to him behind the count looking for the breaking ball. Here he is taking a fastball.
Hey, can I ask you a question? How about the other first baseman in Las Vegas? I thought he was going to Vegas to chill and have a nice quiet time.
You know, I meant to bring that up earlier because, you know, we had Andy Martino's interview with Ike during the game last night.
We're part of the problem.
In Las Vegas. I'm not saying we're not. As buck flies one out to right, and Beltran eases over to grab it, side retired. But can you ever remember a player being sent down and an entire city goes west to follow him to the minor leagues? I don't remember that ever happening before. Duda's home run adds to the Mets lead 3-0 after 4.
City Field. Dylan G is pitching well tonight, and these Cardinals have run through the National League so far, and Sports Illustrated recognizing that a few weeks ago with a pretty awesome cover entitled The Cardinal Way. It mimicked a cover back in 1968 with Lou Brock and Tim McCarver and Mike Shannon. Look at the similarities there. It's really great. And Bob Gibson there as well. The Cardinal Way is a slogan we've heard for an awful long time, and sometimes you wonder if it becomes almost magical, if it takes on a life of its own. I tried to get to the bottom of it today with this current crop of players, and I asked, is there something to it, or is this just something that now is kind of a media creation? Oh no, there's something to it. Make no mistake about it. I talked to multiple Cardinals about the Cardinal Way. David Freese told me it's about having a plan from the get-go. It's about desire. It's about respect to the game. You hear it all the time, he said, in spring training, camps. It's always talked about, as Miller will ground out to right here. So the thing is, you talk about character, desire. When you put 25 of those guys with talent in one room, it's pretty darn special. Now, Matt Carpenter had a good way of putting it today, guys. He said it's an expectation level, and they weed out the guys that don't belong. Simple as that. Derek Gould, to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, who covers this team, does a great job doing so, wrote a piece last year. For the first time that he knows, the Cardinal Way, there was a manual that was photographed, an 86-page manual that was distributed to every minor leaguer in the Cardinals system. Mike Matheny, as a matter of fact, wrote a chapter in it on catching. There's chapters on every position, on strategy, on ways to act off the field responsibility, even such things as position of the infielders. The Cardinal Way, it exists. Keith, you know that.
Yes, I do. And also, you were taught pride in the uniform. You were told in the minor leagues that you were the something special. They are, I will say to this day, the Yankees of the National League.
And it was personified for many years by one man who every Cardinal minor leaguer got to interact with, and that was George Kissel.
Yes, the late George Kissel, who fortunately was killed in an automobile accident in St. Petersburg, I think around 5 years ago. And he was always, when I came up, George was the bench coach along with Red Cheney's in '74, and later became really where he belonged, the minor league field coordinator. And a man that knew the fundamentals. He wrote a book on fundamentals. I'd love to get my hands on that book. I don't know if the book has been published, but it would be something really nice to get your hands on. Every intricate detail. And those were drummed into us in the minor leagues. But the most important thing that I got out of it was pride in the Cardinal uniform. The Gas House gang, the Musial, Stan Musial, the '60s Cardinals with Gibson and Brock. It was tradition that was taught. And yes, you were taught a Cardinal way, and there's no question.
Keith, you go in that clubhouse today, and you know, you've heard a lot of guys talk how in the game today, many the players from the past feel like the history of the game is gone. It's not in that room. You know, Pete Cosma said part of the Cardinal Way, just like you said, they preach history. You know about it here. You respect it. You respect the game, and you don't flaunt it. That's part of how we do things.
I couldn't agree with you more. G is really on a roll here. I mean, there's some players here, and I'm not anything special, but okay, I knew who Mike Shannon was when I was an 18-year-old in the minor leagues. I knew who Veda Pinson was. I walk around some places down, some teams down there, they don't know who I am. They think I'm a Scribini from a Midwest newspaper, for crying out loud. I mean, if I saw a big league ball player when I was 18 years old in the minor leagues, I knew who the heck he was. I knew my major leaguers.
Certainly a former MVP.
So I don't take offense.
Maybe you should.
And it doesn't hurt my feelings.
I'll give you a hug after the broadcast today.
But it's the truth, Ronnie, right?
Well, I think that teams that celebrate their history generally have a chance to perpetuate that history. There's an old saying, and it has nothing to do with baseball, that those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it.
Right.
Well, there's good and bad to be learned, and you know, having a top to bottom organizational philosophy is the first step in creating a winning organization. G deflects another one. This one goes right to Valdespin, and he throws out Beltran to win the inning. Dillon's been a bit of a pincushion. over the last couple of innings. No problem, though. We're halfway through, and he's got a shutout going. 3-0 New York. Home fifth inning, Kirk Neuenhuis leads off against Shelby Miller. Mets have scored 3 runs against Miller tonight. That matches the most he's given up in any game this season. Neuenhuis took a call third strike his first time up, one of 7 strikeouts for Miller over the first 4 innings. Dylan G on deck, and then Jordani Valdespin. That's got 2 runs in the first on 3 straight 2-out hits. Duda's home run in the 4th made it 3-0. And now Miller throws a strike, 3-1. Shelby Miller, first round pick by the Cardinals back in 2009. And he has had an extraordinary start to his first full season. And that's why his 92 looks a little more explosive than 92.
A little tough to say, though. On Neuenhuis, I was interested to see when he came back up if his swing was a little shorter than it was when he left, but not on that swing.
And he strikes out after Miller got behind him 3-0. Neuenhuis is fanned for the second time. That's 8 strikeouts for Miller.
Getting a hitter's count 2 pitches in a row, and you get 2 fastballs under him.
There's your Mets upcoming schedule presented by New York Community Bank. You can listen to all Mets games on Sports Radio 66 and Sports Radio 101.9 FM WFAN. Day game tomorrow with Matt Harvey against Adam Wainwright. Cubs in over the weekend. Then an 11-game road trip so far.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Guys, I'll be pulling for you. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
And I say so far only because the weather's threatening tomorrow, and if the Mets and Cardinals get rained out, it's the last time the Cardinals are here, and they're going to have to find a place to make it up, and it could come on the off day in the middle of that road trip. Back-to-back strikeouts for Miller to start the bottom of the 5th. He's got 9 for the night. There is that schedule. 5 games in Atlanta, including the day-night doubleheader. 3 in Philadelphia. Then after the off day on Monday the 24th, 2 with the White Sox in Chicago, and then a makeup game in Colorado.
So, Keith, I got you maybe the American Hotel on Friday, maybe on the boat on Saturday, a little barbecue on Sunday.
You would be right.
So of the 11 games on the road trip, that's 99 innings at least.
Yeah.
How many do you think you'll be watching?
I'll put them on. I can always DVR and whatever the heck it's called. You know, tape them. Not familiar with it yet. It might present a problem.
All I know, it has an R on the one
on my remote. That's all I know.
And you know which station to record it on,
Of course.
Right?
SNY, of course.
Valdez-Bean's 0 for 2. Fly to center and then tried to bunt his way on, and Miller threw him out.
Oh, boy.
Weak cut by Valdez-Bean, and it's 0-2.
This guy all of a sudden is just throwing through a brick wall here. Ball running away.
He's already struck out 9. He's fanned as many as 13 in the game this year. That came in his one hitter against the Rockies. Rolled down to first. Craig handles it. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Shelby Miller. 5 in the books now at Citi Field. Dylan G and the Mets with a 3-0 lead. The Yankees continued with a fine start in Washington, and now he has shut out the highest scoring team in the National League for the first 5 innings. Heart of the batting order for the Cardinals in the 6th. Holiday, Craig, and Molina. When G was struggling earlier this year, the 6th inning was often his downfall. But he's been able to get through the 6th inning these last 2 starts with no issues.
He's gone 7 in both starts, but you're right. There was a time when he was struggling like that, Gary, that you would anticipate getting people up in the bullpen in the 6th.
And even with having gotten through the 6th with no problem the last 2 starts, his earned run average in the 6th inning this year is 11.57. Gives you an idea how much of a problem it was. He's gotten Holiday twice on fly balls tonight. Hit sharply, but right at Valdez-Bean. And Holiday retired, 1 away. 7 in a row retired by G. Alan Craig coming up. Let's check in with Kevin.
Obviously, the Cardinals lineup is stacked, but Alan Craig may be the toughest out for these Met pitchers, or any pitcher for that fact. I talked to John Buck about trying to get Craig out and do just that. He said, man, he's tough. You know, last night he hit a home run on the changeup. I know that wasn't where Hefner wanted to put the ball, but for an example, earlier in the game, I go fastball away, he short hops it off the wall. Basically, he could take any pitch away and go with it. I never feel like he gets too long with his swing, ever. That's what makes him tough. Guys?
Any hitter that you face that can go coast to coast, I mean, power to right field and to left field, always presents huge problems for a pitcher.
Craig grounded out twice tonight. And G misses with a slider, 2-0.
What I mean by that is that if you don't have a place to go to get an out when you need to against a certain hitter, that means that both sides of the plate are his. And it's hard to do your work when that's the problem.
He has not walked a batter since the first batter he faced tonight, but now he's behind on Craig 3-0 with Yadier Molina on deck.
Craig is very crouched from the waist down, but a little more upright with his upper body, but he gets crouched. He's set.
G behind 3-1, and Craig fouls off the fastball. 3-2. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
Keith, you were talking about Craig. I wonder what an influence Albert Pujols was when he was here. Very crouched stance, not a big step.
Yeah, Albert was very short, take back, right to the ball.
3-2. Got a piece of that.
Mets defensively against Craig, and I agree. If G's saying the outside corner that he goes the other way with, they've got Neuenhuis shaded into right center field, straight up on the infield, really only giving him the left field line in the outfield.
Rocket deep left field. Duda takes a look, but that's out of here. Alan Craig homers for the second straight night, his 6th of the year, and the Cardinals get on the board. It's now 3-1.
Well, that's quick.
I think a little spinning slider in the inside part was stayed there for Craig.
There it is. Okay. Wants to set up away, and good call, Ron. It was a cutter or a slider that didn't just right down the middle and up.
Now Craig had gotten off to a slow start in the power department. 22 last year, only 4 coming into this series, but now homers in back-to-back games, and they set up the gauntlet after Craig goes deep. Molina's 2 for 2 tonight. He fouls off that high curveball. 1-2.
G's got to be a little careful here, Ron. He's been hanging a couple breaking balls.
I think that he doesn't want to run away from his fastball. You know, I think that stay with that. Make sure he pitches inside. That's been a big strength to him through this good stretch.
Molina hits one down the left field line, lofted toward the corner, and that lands and short hops the wall. Duda makes the throw to second. Molina slides in safely with his 3rd hit of the night, his 2nd double. 21st double of the season for Yadier Molina. And just like that, the Cardinals will get the tying run to the plate in the 6th inning.
Changeup?
Yes.
He stayed back nice.
Boy, he has developed as a hitter. What an easy swing.
He just leans on that back foot and drops the head of the bat on the baseball.
I've just never agreed with a pitcher trying to throw a changeup on the inside corner. I think you always want to get the changeup away, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ronnie. That's a pitch that's off speed to get the hitter out in front. He has a chance to get the barrel on him if you get it in.
So back-to-back extra base hits for the Cardinals. Now David Freese, and he hits it hard but foul.
Now Buck is set up right down the middle, it seems. It's a sinker. Sinking change, but not enough. That's just good hitting right there. That's why he's hitting over 350.
heading to 360.
Well, he gave up the National League batting lead last night. He might rest it right back from Tulowitzki tonight. 1-on-1 to Freeze, who's hit a comebacker and struck out 0 for 2. So the Mets bullpen has to get ready now. Scott Rice, LaTroy Hawkins, as the 6th inning has jumped up and curled around Dylan G's ankles again. It busts Freeze inside. It's 1-2. That's a nice new graphic.
Yeah.
Lets you know who's got some rest. That's used Artsma and Burke and Edgin last night. It's a lovely job, guys. I love the handwriting. Whose handwriting?
The script, right? A little flair to it.
Oh, the guys in the truck, they've got flair. Struck him out. G with a high fastball gets Freeze for the second time. That's 5 strikeouts for Dillon and a big one there. 2 men down.
You know, nice. He did not forget about his fastball. Throws one upstairs and beats him.
Sure did.
You know, Dillon's probably a breaking ball pitcher as far as his strengths, but it's all set up with his fastball command. It always will be.
So now 2 out. Molina at second. Here's John Jay, who's hit the ball well tonight. Single to left in the second, then fly deep to center in the fourth.
Well, this is a big 2-out RBI at bat right here.
And a first pitch curveball for ball 1.
These are the at bats that are most difficult. Get your team within a run. You got 3 at bats after this.
He has won his last 2 starts and working with the lead in the 6th inning tonight. Molina at second and 2 out. Now Jay had a base hit to left earlier in the game. Quintanilla is keeping an eye on Molina.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I would cover up that hole more.
Agreed.
Could even back David up a little.
But that must be the charts where they want to play him. He's not really paying any attention to him. That's where they want him positioned.
You see him leaning in there and letting him know he's there. I just don't know why he'd waste a moment on that.
Yeah. Molina's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe because the base hit to left with Molina, I would probably not going to score. Maybe
I would shade him around just a little bit more into that hole, though. That's for sure. I agree with you, Gare. Particularly with 2 strikes.
1-2 now to Jay. Bounces that breaking ball. 2-2.
Unusual hitting style by John Jay. He's one of those hitters that has a lot of movement in his hands, and they've kind of let it be with the Cardinals. This is the first year that he's hit under, usually around 300.
He's kind of calmed it down a little bit.
Yeah.
He was a lot more extreme, I thought, when he first came up.
Now the 2-2. Got him. Change up from G. Strikes out Jay. Back-to-back strikeouts for G to end the inning. And the Cardinals settle for just the 1 run. Now that Craig homering for the 2nd straight night to put St. Louis on the board. But then G survives a double and gets the Mets through the 6th. 3-1. of the Harvey-Wainwright duel after tomorrow's series finale with live reports from Citi Field, plus a preview of Friday's Mets-Cubs opener on Daily News Live, presented by. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mets with a 3-1 lead. Omar Quintanilla leads off against Shelby Miller. Quintanilla has been up twice, struck out both times. Miller has struck out 9 through the first 5 innings, but Dylan G has outpitched him to this point.
Does it seem like Harvey has been matched up with a lot of other teams' aces this year?
That's what happens when you're, start the season as number 2 behind these who pitched opening day. You're gonna, as the season turns around, spins around, you end up facing these guys. And with the Cardinals, every day you're facing someone pretty good.
Your City probables for tomorrow. Wainwright going for his 10th win of the year. Harvey, who's been saddled with mostly no decisions of late, but pitching brilliantly. Should be fun to watch if the weather holds off.
You've got a report on tomorrow.
There's some precipitation in the forecast, but you know what Keith's old teammate Joaquin Andor always said.
That's what you never know.
You never know.
He also said, I've got one word to describe that. You never know.
Right. I gave you the abridged edition.
Okay.
David Wright on deck. Daniel Murphy behind him, facing the 22-year-old from Brownwood, Texas. Shelby Miller's 1-2, and the curveball struck him out. He gets Quintanilla for the 3rd time. 10 strikeouts now for Miller.
Wow.
His 2nd career double-digit strikeout game.
This kid is special.
And basically at this point in his career, he throws a couple of changeups, but basically a 2-pitch pitcher at this point.
He'll develop something, maybe like a get me over curveball to go along with that hard one, but it's his fastball that is his strength right now.
So 1 out now. David Wright, who doubled to right center and scored the first Met run. Then he struck out in the 3rd, 1 for 2. Mets have had only 4 hits against Miller tonight, but they had 3 of them consecutively with 2 out in the 1st inning. Randy Choate, the left-hander, Seth Maness, the right-hander, up at the Cardinals bullpen.
It is a completely revamped Cardinal bullpen, just about.
Well, they lost their closer Jason Mott for the season. They tried Mitchell Boggs as the closer. That didn't work out. He's in the minors starting now, as a matter of fact. The left-hander Mark Zepchinski, who had been so good for them in their World Series year and again last year, down in the minor leagues, trying to get himself revamped. So Edward Mujica has taken over as the closer.
And he's been perfect.
Trevor Rosenthal has handled the 8th inning with his 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's all kind of fallen in line behind them. They have remade their bullpen on the fly.
Oh,
that just missed.
Miller's overthrown 2 pitches in a row.
That's right. Same spot.
Well, the bullpen got off to a dreadful start this year, but the Cardinals were able to remake it on the fly, and now it's turned from a liability into yet another strength. 3-1 to Wright, and David cracks one to deep center field. Back goes John Jay to the warning track. Back at the wall. It's out of here. David Wright, his 9th home run of the year. The Mets have homered twice tonight against Miller, and it's 4-1 New York. The captain of the home run derby getting some practice in.
Well, the deepest part of the ballpark. Got ahead in the count. 2 fastballs overthrown. There's one right down the middle and up. And this is not a cheapie. Oh, there it is right there. All upper body strength right on it. Yep. Full extension of the arms.
If you hit it right on the plate, beginning of the plate, it'll go to center field. Front of the plate, you pull it. on the plate or deep to right field.
That's way out. That's a home run in the old park.
Just the second home run that David's hit at Citi Field this season.
You know, it's interesting. He got that same pitch on the first pitch of that at bat, fouled it straight back, and he was lucky enough. It doesn't happen all the time for hitters. He got the same pitch again.
David now with 35 runs batted in, which finally ties it with John Buck for the club lead.
Daniel Murphy, you're probably wondering why Daniel's hitting cleanup. It's very unusual, but you got Valdez being in the lineup now. It's a left-handed with Quintanilla, 2 lefties, 1-2. So you got kind of have Wright in there hitting third to break it up.
First time Miller's ever given up 4 earned runs in a game. Miller had only allowed 4 home runs all season. Now he's given up 2 tonight. And because the Mets hit their second home run, log on to sny.tv/Dwayne Reed to print out your coupon for $5 off any Gillette Fusion razor, cartridge, or disposable. Redeemable at any Dwayne Reed or Walgreens store. Murphy fouls away the curveball, and it's still 2-2.
It's interesting. Murph has a better swing on the breaking ball with 2 strikes than he does on the fastball.
Lucas Duda's had a big night. He waits on deck.
Because he's a good 2-strike hitter. Murph goes into his up the middle mode. So you're going to be most vulnerable inside, and you're going to be able to cover the outside corner.
Popped it up. Freeze and Molina look for it, and Molina makes the grab right before the on-deck circle. 2 down.
Nope. As I stated, they went inside after Murph here and jammed him. And you don't normally see a catcher one-hand a pop-up. There's the inside fastball, ties up Murph. But sure hands.
I thought Yadier was a little wary of that on deck circle. The catchers don't like to step on it. You can slip. So now Duda, who's 2 for 2, a single and a home run. Each has driven in a run. Good night for Lucas, who came in a 2 for 23 skid. Duda leads the team now with 11 home runs. Mets have now hit 61 home runs as a team, right about the middle of the pack in the National League.
See why he doesn't throw his changeup that much. Kind of telegraphed that pitch. 85-mile-an-hour changeup.
Second time he's gone behind Duda, 3-0 tonight. And Lucas takes a 3-0 curveball for a strike. He was wary.
That's Molina right there.
Well, he threw Duda a curveball on 3-1 in the first inning. Gets the fastball here and fouls it off. This was back in the 4th.
Oh, hanging curve.
Maybe got energized by taking all those ground balls at first base.
Duda's got to get some men on base when he hits his home runs.
Fly ball out to center, got in on him enough. And Jay is there to grab it. Side retired, but the Mets get the run right back after Craig's home run at the top of the inning. David Wright responds in kind, his 9th of the year, dead central. Mets have hit 2 home runs tonight and lead 4-1 after 6. after tomorrow's series finale with live reports from Citi Field, plus a preview of Friday's Mets-Cubs opener on Daily News Live, presented by Citi, tomorrow at 5, only on SNY. Scott Rice, LaTroy Hawkins up again in the Mets bullpen. Dylan G working with a 4-1 lead now as we start the 7th. Pete Kozma leads off, hits one deep but foul down the left field side. 0-1.
Dylan seeing if he can get here for the 3rd straight start, get through 7 innings.
Kozma 0 for 2, fouled out, grounded into a fielder's choice. Ty Wigginton on deck to pinch hit for Shelby Miller, and then Matt Carpenter. There's Wigginton on deck. Cardinals 1 run, 6 hits. The Mets 4 runs and 5 hits. And Kozma flies one out to right, easy for Marlon Byrd. 1 out of the 7th. So 1 out and nobody on. Now Ty Wigginton, who pitched hit last night and flied out. Wigginton, who wore the Mets out last year while wearing a Phillies uniform. Seth Maness up in the bullpen for the Cardinals, sinker baller.
Oh.
So Miller gives up 4 earned runs for the first time ever in his career, and is in danger of taking the loss. That's got 3 in the first, then home runs by Duda and Wright. Only the 4th time this year the Mets have hit 2 home runs in a game at Citi Field.
Oh, good curve.
Curveball, 0-2.
That's the best curve he's thrown all night. Watch the bottom drop out of this one. Good location. That's a good one.
Well, Ty is such an aggressive hitter. We'll go out of the strike zone again and strike him out. So on 3 pitches, Wigginton is down. 7 strikeouts now for G.
Boy, smart pitching. He shows you he's going to swing in a bad one, throw another one.
All right, Gary, here's your trivia question. Who was the first player to represent the Mets in the All-Star game? You're going to.
So we're not talking about the first starter in the All-Star game. We're talking about the first player.
First player.
You have to ask Billy N.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
Because in 1964, when the Mets hosted the All-Star game at Shea Stadium, Ron Hunt became the first Met ever to start in an All-Star game.
You know who it is.
So the question is, who represented the Mets in the 1962 All-Star game?
I think I even know this one.
I never know who takes outside 1-1. I'm pretty sure it was Richie Ashburn.
Yeah, that's my guess.
I think you're correct. I'm with you.
I mean, Richie was voted MVP of the Mets in that 1962 season. Of course, Whitey, who was a great friend and one of the funniest human beings of all time, talked about getting the trophy for winning the MVP as the Mets MVP that year, and the prize was a boat, which was great, except that Richie lived in Nebraska. Carpenter fouls it off.
Well, they have lakes.
You know, he didn't have the lake.
He was just thinking of getting it there.
You also got the Mississippi River on the eastern border of Nebraska, I believe.
Omaha, right?
Yeah. Council Bluffs.
That's on the other side of the river in Iowa.
That's right.
1-2, and G misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, it was nice to get a Mets All-Star question as we work toward.
Yes. We're getting very close.
First All-Star game in Flushing since 1964.
It's hard to believe there has not been an All-Star game since '64.
Mets have done a nice job in this series throttling Carpenter, who had an 18-game hitting streak coming into the series. He's 0 for 6. Well, it's only a little over a month away. And furious preparations being made day by day, and it's a pretty fair bet that guy might be on the mound at some point.
You know, if he can get some wins instead of those no decisions, only 16 runs he's given up in those 8 no decisions.
I don't think that's going to matter in terms of his selection for the All-Star game.
I'm talking about starting the All-Star game. You know, that would be cool.
Just being there would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
First full
absolutely.
season.
Absolutely.
Eighth pitch of the at bat coming from G to Carpenter, with Dillon now at 105 pitches for the night. Carpenter keeps it alive. David Wright continues to trail the big panda, Pablo Sandoval, in the balloting, but Sandoval's hurt now.
He's on the DL.
Hurt his foot, so
his left foot.
I don't know if that'll change matters at all.
Nope.
They get our camera again.
Oh, look at that! Is it the camera or is it the plexiglass in front of the camera?
Well, can't they get a proper kind of glass there?
Got to talk to the hockey people. And that's ball 4, and Carpenter with a terrific turn at bat. Works out a 9-pitch walk. Second walk by G tonight. Both have gone to Carpenter. It's a very interesting spider web pattern of cracks, isn't it?
That looks like my parents' windows in our backyard when I was a kid.
Terry Collins heading out to the mound. He's got Beltran coming up. He's got a lefty and a righty available. And I'm not sure if he's making a move or not.
He's asking him. He wants to stop. He's done.
So Scott Rice will come into the game. And G is out after 6 2/3.
Lefty, lefty, lefty.
Lefty, Ricky.
Lefty.
Ricky Bonus just making sure.
Nice job. Nice job, Dylan.
Third straight terrific start for Dylan G. And he gets a well-deserved round of applause. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Fios. 4-1. Goes 6 2/3. Another stellar performance by G. And now Scott every minute Rice will try and do his work as he faces Carlos Beltran. Starts him off with a splitter for strike 1. Carlos 1 for 3, singled over shortstop back in the third. Carpenter at first with 2 out. Beltran batting right-handed for the first time tonight. Just .246 from the right side this year. And Quintanilla in front of the ground ball goes the short way, and that retires the side. Rice throws 2 pitches, gets his job done behind Dylan G. 7th inning stretch, 4-1 New York. Cubs on Father's Day. The Father's Day lunch package includes one field level ticket and pregame lunch. Each dad ticket also includes a limited edition t-shirt for dad and a $10 Modell's gift card. Get to Mets.com/Father's Day for tickets. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Seth Maness in the game for the Cardinals as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Well, before this season, in 222 innings in the minor leagues, Seth walked 15 people. He's a strike thrower, sinker slider, three-quarter delivery.
Marlon Byrd leads off in the bottom of the 7th. Byrd struck out twice against Shelby Miller. Miller struck out 10 in 6 innings, didn't walk a batter, but he gave up a couple of home runs, 4 runs and 5 hits, and he's on the short end. And Byrd hits one well out to left field. Back goes Holiday to the warning track at the wall, leaping, and it's out of here. Marlon Byrd with his 9th home run of the year. The Mets with a 3-home run night at Citi Field, and it's 5-1 New York.
Keith, he almost one-armed this out.
But Marlon's very strong. He's really done a great job this year, more than I think expected. 9 home runs now on the year. Sinker that didn't sink, got it up, and he just turned on it. When those sinker ballers get it up in that belt area, he knew it. You just flatten out, ball doesn't sink. Marlon turned on it. Nicely done.
So Duda in the 4th, Wright in the 6th, and now Byrd in the 7th have all gone deep.
I believe in St. Louis, Maness could give up a home run. Gary, did he not?
Buck grounds one to short, and he's thrown out one away. Don't remember, Keith.
Okay, well don't knock yourself out.
Well, I'll find out.
I thought they touched him up in St. Louis in that one game he pitched.
Brendan Lyon in the pen for the Mets. He'll have the 8th.
New and Ice has been up twice and struck out both times. Byrd now 0 for 7 since his recall. And he grounds one to the right side. Carpenter to his left. And there are 2 out. So 2 out and nobody on it. Now Josh Satin will get his first big league at bat of the season. Satin, who's had cups of coffee with the Mets each of the last 2 years, had been playing first base most days in Las Vegas, and with Ike Davis now filling that role, Satin is here.
One of those players not afraid to wear number 13. Lee Mazzilli and others.
Josh Satin out of Cal Berkeley, where he was a teammate of the Cardinals' Alan Craig with the Golden Bears. The answer to your question, Keith, is yes.
I remember
Seth Maness gave up a home run against the Mets in St. Louis.
Josh Satin, Hidden Hills, California. That's horse country northwest of Los Angeles. Beautiful.
It was Rick Ankiel who hit the home run.
That's right. That's right.
1-2 to Satin, who hit 9 home runs for Vegas this year. Not known as a home run hitter, but took advantage of the climate in Las Vegas.
The altitude.
Josh is at his best when he's hitting line drives. He's played some second base, he's played some third base, some outfield in his career. This year mostly at first base. Now the 1-2. And Satin lines one down the right field side of foul ball. Nobody wore number 13 for the Mets with more distinction than Edgardo Alfonso.
Yes.
the allowing more 13 as a Met as well.
I was thinking that when Lee Mazzilli came back to the Mets, was he wearing 13, right?
He wore 16 during his first stint.
That was taken by the time he got back.
Of course, Agardo is on the all-time Met team, all-star team.
Right next to you.
Nice second baseman to my right, huh?
Jordani Valdespin on deck. And Sapp takes strike 3 call. Fastball on the outside corner. So Manus retires the next 3 after giving up a leadoff home run to Marlon Byrd. The Mets hit their 3rd home run of the night. Duda, Wright, and now Byrd. And they lead the Cardinals 5-1 as we go to the 8th at Citi Field. Visit your Honda dealer today for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. By Geico and by AT&T. Rethink possible. Beautiful look at Manhattan at night.
Here's your city that never sleeps, Keith.
I hear you.
8th inning at Citi Field, and Brandon Lyon will pitch for the Mets.
Got a few choices out there now with the addition of David Artsma. Brandon Lyon gets the 8th tonight.
Lyon's last outing was an odd one. He worked an inning in which he gave up 3 hits, but no runs against the Marlins. Part of the batting order for the Cardinals. Matt Holliday leads off. He's 0 for 3 tonight. And Lyon starts him off with a strike on the outside edge.
That's where Lyon had runners on first and second. Buck picked off the runner Echeverria at second base, and then the next pitch, ground ball to second base, 4-6-3 double play.
And then the next day, he had a double play ball that hit the runner, right?
Yeah, Logan Morrison.
And so he had to get an extra out.
Echeverria hit that ball.
Right. But he got Mathis out with a couple of men on to get through that inning. 2 balls and a strike to Holliday with Alan Craig on deck, then Yadier Molina.
This is the 21st series for the Cardinals. So of the 20 series they have played this season, they've only lost 2 of them. That's pretty incredible. And they were both in April when they had that bullpen problem.
Bounce down to third. Wright plays it on the backhand and throws out the slow-footed Holliday. 1 away. Well, the Cardinals also didn't hit the first few weeks of the season, but since the 1st of May, they've been the best hitting team in the majors by far, and they've been held at bay tonight by Dylan G and the Mets. Now Alan Craig, who's responsible for the only St. Louis run. He homered into the seats in left field in the 6th, his second home run in 2 games, his 6th of the year. Edward Mujica, the Cardinal closer, getting up. Either that's a world of confidence on the part of Mike Matheny, or he just needs some work.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched in a couple days, needs some work, and they get the same weather reports you get. So,
saying there could be a day off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, yes, tomorrow is very problematic in so many different ways. Both teams have their best starting pitcher on the mound. The Mets have Matt Harvey going. Cardinals have Adam Wainwright. Neither team wants to start a game where you're going to have a pitcher throw 2 or 3 innings and get rained out. But the flip side of that is it's also the last visit for the Cardinals to Citi Field. And the Mets have had so many rainouts this year and had to make up so many games. They've got day-night doubleheaders coming up. They've got off days that are now extra games where they have to make return trips to Colorado and Minnesota. So the last thing in the world anybody wants is a rainout tomorrow. So it becomes that much more difficult to figure out what to do if the weather's bad. 2-2 now to Craig. As Terry Collins said earlier today, he said he's never seen a season so affected by weather. And the second half of the year, this team's going to have virtually no off days as a result. It's not a problem now, but when it gets to be 90 degrees every day, it will be.
It's the first time that I've seen games don't even go to the ballpark, just stay home. You had that in Minnesota, you had that in Colorado. You had that here.
Yep. We'll see what transpires tomorrow. You never know, forecasts can change, but right now it's not looking great. Three and 2 to Craig with Molina on deck.
You've seen that crouch, Keith, but he kind of explodes out of that crouch. Uses his legs a lot.
He's an attacker. He coils.
That's what it is. You're right.
And of course, the great coiler of all time was Stan Musial. He really was like a viper striking at a victim when he attacked the baseball.
Shallow right field, and Byrd comes in to get under it. 2 out. Let's check in with the studio. Brian Custer is there with this game break.
Great.
Thanks, Brian. Here's Yadier Molina, who's 3 for 3 today. Molina's 7th game this year with 3 or more hits. A single and 2 doubles for Molina today, and he dumps one to the right side. Murphy goes a long way to get it. Lyon goes over to cover, and that retires the side. So Lyon pitches a 1-2-3 top of the 8th, and the Mets take a 5-1 lead at the bottom of the 8th. noon. Matt Harvey goes for the Mets. Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 right here on SNY. Your Audi Mets box score. Mets have hit 3 home runs tonight. Lucas Duda, David Wright, Marlon Byrd. Mets have had only 6 hits, but with the long ball, that's been plenty. With Dylan G going 6 2/3 solid innings. Edward Mujica has had a few days off, so the Cardinal closer will come in.
You know, the Mets who always wore out Mujica when he was to the Padres and Marlins. No one has been wearing him out this year.
Look at that. 1 walk in 27 2/3. He's got the lowest whip, 0.61 of any relief pitcher in the National League. Top of the batting order, Jordani Valdespin leads off in the bottom of the 8th. Valdespin, Quintanilla, and Wright in the home 8th inning. Valdespin 0 for 3 today. Flied out, tried to bunt his way on, was thrown out, and then grounded out his last time up. And he grounds one to the second baseman Carpenter. 1 pitch and 1 out for Mujica in the home 8th. Geico Sports Night, the only show that's only New York sports. Jason Kidd, new coach of the Nets. Geno Smith. Tebow-like role? How about starting QB? Would that be okay? Join the conversation. Hashtag SNY Sports Night tonight at 10:30.
They're going for the Stanley Cup tonight, too, by the way. First game. I mean, the Rangers aren't in it, then that's
but that's not New York sports.
Yeah, but it's only New York, I guess so. That's nothing global.
It's important sports,
okay.
But you know, we try to take a New York approach on SNY.
Like maybe when there's some injuries for the blue shirts or something like that.
I think this is a Bruins fan talking who's upset that his team is not getting enough coverage.
Oh, funny.
David Wright on deck behind Quintanilla, who's trying to avoid the dreaded golden sombrero tonight. Quintanilla up 3 times, struck out all 3 against Shelby Miller. And that just missed 1 and 2.
You know, in some ways, doesn't Mujica represent how difficult it is to get a gauge on relievers? Very serviceable reliever when he's with the Padres and Marlins, and now through the roof. How do you figure?
And Quintanilla can be fitted for his hat size.
Well, he was originally with San Diego, and I always thought earlier he was in love with his splitter, and I thought I liked his fastball. And then when St. Louis got him, I said, oh, okay, just nothing special. What the heck?
Well, they certainly had no designs on him as a closer.
No.
He was the 4th choice.
But he came that year, was it 2 years ago or last year, where he solidified that bullpen late. He was a big fixture in their setup man.
Here's David Wright, a double and a home run tonight. 2 for 3. His home run was his 9th, now has 35 RBIs. And he tops one toward third. Freeze charging, and it goes under his glove, and Wright is aboard. He'll take a turn and hold. So Freeze unable to make connection, and it went right under his glove.
Well, it's almost like he had a bad back here.
Well, he has had a bad back.
Just couldn't get down low enough, and that should be an E5.
And they will indeed score an error.
Well, that gives Murph a crack to get another hit.
It's Freeze's 4th error of the year. Murphy 1 for 3, drove in the first Met run in the first inning, and then raced all the way home from first on a single by Lucas Duda. Aggressive base running and base coaching by Tim Tuffle, as the Mets scored twice in the first for the 2nd straight night. But tonight they have tacked on. By the way, for Omar Quintanilla, his first career 4-strikeout game, which will probably bring his 8-game hitting streak to an end. A ball called against Mujica, and Wright will go to second base.
No argument from Mujica, no argument from Mike Matheny. Oh, yeah, see him there. Yep. He was waiting for the sign from Molina that was not coming and kind of just got uncomfortable out there.
Time to step off?
Yeah. Let's watch his right shoulder, top of his shoulder. See how that moves back just a little bit? Good job by Greg Gibson.
Yes,
that wasn't a lot of movement. Right on top of it as he's been all game. He's had a nice game behind the plate.
First balk for Mojica since 2009. Sometimes closers in these non-safe situations just lose their concentration. So runner in scoring position for Murphy. And he leads this one to center, but Wright at Jay, who reaches up to grab it. Side retired. An error, a balk, and a man left on. We go to the ninth. Mets trying to snap a losing streak, up 5-1.
Sorry. 9 for 12 in saves. No save situation here for Bobby. Needs a good clean inning.
Parnell's last outing was not a fun one. It was against Miami in that 10-inning game last Sunday. He wound up the losing pitcher. David Freese leads off in the 9th inning and takes a strike. Freese 0 for 3, struck out his last 2 times up against Dylan G, who went 6 2/3 tonight. A lot of run on 6 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Bullpen's been perfect so far. And a check swing on the curve ball, rolls it out to Valdespin, and Freese retired, 1 away. It's 5 up and 5 down for the Mets bullpen. Scott Rice got it out of the 7th. Brandon Lyon 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. And now Parnell fooling Freese with the curveball for the first out of the 9th. And that should signal the end of David Freese's hitting streak at 20 consecutive games, the longest in the majors this year. Here's John Jay, who's 1 for 3. And takes ball 1. This is a great story in the timing department. Major League Baseball has made an announcement that next year the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks are going to open the season in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow.
Which is apropos since they seem to be playing Australian rules football last night.
Exactly. Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
I mean,
they couldn't have waited till next week to make that announcement after they brawled last night.
Maybe they should travel on the same plane out there. Really make it fun.
It'll be like coming home from Houston in '86.
Oh, can you imagine that trip? Oh my gosh.
That's a long way, let me tell you.
Sydney's what?
It's
18, 19 hours?
Yeah. That's about right.
Yeah. You've been in that part of the world. That is a.
And it's a 14-hour time difference, too.
Oh, man. Get yourself to Narita.
What do they think?
Clean the plane and then get right back on and go another 8, 9 hours.
Well, you can go from LAX nonstop to Sydney. So that's what they'll do.
Jeez.
That's right. The West Coast. I'm thinking East Coast.
Gosh almighty.
I mean, they've had teams open in Japan. The Mets did that back in 2000, and other teams have done that as well. That's a 13-hour time difference. Jake cracks one to right, but Byrd is right there, and that's the second out. But there's no question there is some lingering effect to that. I mean, they give you a few days to come back and try and get yourself reacclimated. But I remember with the Mets in 2000, there was no question that it affected them for the first few weeks of the season.
I would tell you, I would love to do it as a broadcaster. I would not like to do it as a player.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, having done it as a broadcaster, it was fun.
It was fun, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Exactly.
But, we didn't have to play. So now the Cardinals down to their final out. Here's Pete Kozma, who's 0 for 3. And it's hit in the air to right. Byrd racing in. And the Mets win it. Bobby Parnell works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. The Mets get just their second win in their last 9 games. Home runs for Duda and Wright and Byrd. And the Mets, getting great pitching from Dylan G, defeat the Cardinals 5-1.
Well, I think that's the key. The key against the team that is averaging over 5 runs per game is you needed a great start from Dylan G, and you got it. Just a solo home run to Alan Craig, went 6 2/3 deep into the game, and the bullpen was perfect.
Well, the Mets only got 6 hits in this ball game, but 3 of them were home runs. That was Duda's 11th, Wright's 9th, and Bird's 9th. So that was all. And Dylan G, big kudos. 3 in a row for Dylan.
There's your City game summary as the Mets defeat the Cardinals 5-1. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $60,000. Now the Mets with something to celebrate tonight as they get even in the series with the Cardinals. 3 home runs and a great job by Dylan G. The bullpen was perfect as well. Mets win at 5-1. We'll come back with more from Flushing in just a moment.